Tonight on News Prime, APC receives defectors, urges internal unity. Adebisa Shettima urges MDS to support ease of doing business in Nigeria. And before seeing Trump contemplate closure of U.S. embassies in Africa. On sport news, NSC Lords, they team Nigeria's fifth at the World Tourney. Hello and welcome to News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Bedikat Michael. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. You can also download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. Now, President Bola Tinubu has approved the release of 120 billion naira to the Federal Ministry of Education to advance the ministry's technical and vocational education and training agenda. The Minister of State for Education, Professor Suwaiba Ahmed, said this in our speech at the commissioning of the Community and Education Center at the Kodapasi, Akwa Ibom State. This came as the federal government prepares to empower at least 650,000 youths with technical, vocational and digital skills required to meet the emerging industrial and labor needs. And on to political matters, the All Progressive Congress has held a major unity rally in Abuja, signaling renewed political momentum and grassroots consolidation ahead of the upcoming political engagement. Speaking at the event, the national chairman of the APC, Dr. Abdullahi Umaru Ganduje, emphasized the importance of internal unity and a strengthened grassroots network in securing future electoral victories. Sharon Ajay completes the story.
The old parade ground in the Federal Capital Territory was the center of political activities as the APC hosted a unity rally attended by party loyalties, stakeholders, and high-profile figures from across the 6 area councils. APC National Chairman Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje says APC stands on the pillars of inclusivity, progressive governance, and grassroots development. He reaffirmed the party's growing influence in the FCT and encouraged continued alignment across political structures.
The chairman, who's all his elected councillors, who's all his appointed councillors, who's all the politicians from PDP, now they have decided to come to our great party, the APC.
In a welcome address, the APC FCT chairman, Honorable Abdulmalik Usman, commended the courage of the decampees and assured them of full integration into the party's structure. Usman says the rally underscores the APC's openness and commitment to inclusive politics. He added that the FCT chapter remains focused on deepening its grassroots reach and preparing for future contests.
He is coming to join us today. Right. But it's not less than 20,000 people across the 12th ward of Abuja Municipal Council. Your Excellency, we also have not less than 10,000 people that are joining us in Buhari Area Council and across other area councils.
The National Vice Chairman of the APC for the North Central Zone, Honorable Alhaji Muhazu Bawa Rijau, called for unity, party discipline, and enhanced participation across all levels. Rijau says internal harmony is essential for sustainable political success. He urged stakeholders to prioritize community engagement and effective mobilization.
This is a clear testimony that we in the FCT, we are ready, we are ever ready for the council election. Come 2006.
The Unity Rally is seen as a strategic move by the APC to consolidate its position in the nation's capital and reinforce its presence across the north-central geopolitical zone. One of the high points of the rally was the official presentation of new members who recently decamped to the APC. Among them was the executive chairman of Abuja Municipal Area Council, Honorable Christopher Zaka May Kalongo, who pledged loyalty to the party and readiness to contribute to its growth. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
Hello from politics. The 6th African Regional Conference on Irrigation and Drainage has successfully concluded in Abuja, Nigeria, with the theme tackling the irrigation development and water management crisis in Africa. The conference brought together experts, policymakers and stakeholders from across the continent to address the pressing challenges in water management and agricultural sustainability. Godwin Sunday has the report.
The Honorable Minister for Agriculture and Rural Development, Mahmoud Abubakar, has called for an urgent need for innovative strategies to transform irrigation system across Africa. He highlighted the continent's challenges, including inadequate infrastructure, financial constraint, and government issues, urging collaborative effort to overcome these barriers.
And number 1 SDG on poverty. Number 2 is zero hunger. Number 6, clean water and sanitation. Number 13, climate action. When we talk about water scarcity, people have inadequate access to water for irrigation in agricultural zones, which by extension limits food production and thereby exacerbating hunger and malnutrition.
Throughout the conference, participants engaged in technical sections, policy dialogues, and site visits to key irrigation zones across Nigeria. Discussion centered on sustainable agriculture, climate resilience, and enhancing food security. Speaking during the panelist section, Dr. Mike Smith, the Director General of the International Water Management Institute, IWMI, reaffirmed its commitment to supporting smallholder farmers.
Many progress has been made. There are 2 things very quickly, and we can come back upon later. First of all, there's too much discrepancy between the urban areas and the rural areas. Significant increase has been done in the urban areas, peri-urban areas, but so much needs to be done, especially in the rural areas. Second thing, very quickly, we need to have access to data. As it always has been said, you cannot manage what you cannot control.
On the other hand, Dr. Mako Asari, president of ICEED, also pledged its commitment to boost livelihood and strengthen agricultural economies.
Poverty rates in rural areas remain stubbornly high. And one of the things highlighted in this conference is water can really make a difference to progress with that challenge. And in particular, we must think of water and irrigation development in terms of driving transformation through water.
The patron of ICEED, Dr. Suleiman Hassan Adamu, the immediate past Minister of Water Resources, thanked all participants and urged them to indigenize what has been learnt.
Unfortunately, our efforts, as you well know, to try to get the proper legal backing under a new Consolidated Water Resources Bill didn't yield fruit because some politicians thought it meant something else. And despite all our efforts to make the country educated about what this bill is and what it means to the people of this country, emotions prevailed over common sense.
As the conference concludes, stakeholders express optimism that the resolutions and partnership formed will pave the way for a more sustainable and food security in Africa. Godwin Sunday reporting for.
Now, the factional chairman of the New Nigeria's People's Party, Al Jibril Dogoa, has deepened the recent visit to the APC National Chairman Abdullahi by some members of the party as a deliberate attempt in the best interest of the party. Addressing a news conference, Dawowa said the party leadership in Kano is fully aware of the visit to Ganduje by Senator Kawu Sumaila-led group. Our correspondent Jibril Idris has a report.
Senator Kawu Sumaila and some other lawmakers from the opposition New Nigeria People's Party in Kano paid a special visit to the national chairman of the APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, a visit that generated concern among party supporters in Kano, but not among the party leadership. According to the chairman, the visit is meant to foster political collaboration between the NNPP and the APC at both state and national level, stressing that it's too early to start speculating.
Going around in the media, outfit, especially in social media, that our children, that is our sons, Senator Kawu Sumaila, Honorable Kabir Al-Asararun, Honorable Alamadaki, Honorable Badamasi Tambata, and Honorable Abdullahi Sanurogo were in APC National Chairman's house. I want to make it clear that at least they went to APC's National Chairman house with our consent. Why we allow them to go is we want them to go and start discussing, because politics is not, politics is about inclusiveness. We want at least to start discussing on way forward.
The party leadership therefore confirms that the Kawu Sumaila-led group visit to Ganduje is fully endorsed by the executive of the party in Kano, bearing in mind the interests of their constituencies.
This politics is about what? It's about game of number. It's about interest. It's about interest. So Kabiru and others, they have their own interest. They have the interest of the people they are representing, and they have the interest of those that, the area that equally they are representing. So at least whatever they are discussing, if it is for the good of the people they are representing, if it is for the good of the area they are representing, I think we have the mandate they have our own mandate to pursue those discussions with the APC National Chairman.
While political atmosphere begins heating up in Kano, there are expectations that the El Jibrin-led NNPP may likely decamp to the APC in the near future. From Kano, Idris Jibrin reporting for Global Television News.
And now in a bid to solidify the partnership for statute in Nigeria, South Africa by National Commission recently inaugurated by President Bola Tinubu and President Cyril Ramaphosa, the ministers of solid minerals of both nations have signed a memorandum of understanding outlining key areas of cooperations and complete with implementation timelines. Sharon Ajay completes the story.
During a bilateral meeting in his office in Abuja, the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, hosted South Africa's Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, Gwande Matashi. Dr. Alake described the engagement as a milestone in deepening bilateral relations, especially in the vital mining sector. Reflecting on the historical ties between the two countries, Alake noted the long-standing diplomatic and economic cooperation built on the mutual respect and a shared vision for Africa's development. He stressed that collaboration in the mining sector offers vast opportunities for industrialization, job creation, and sustainable growth across the continent.
As we proceed, like I said, let us remain guided by the principles of mutual benefit. It is through this principle of mutual benefit that the rest of Africa can also benefit. So aim to strengthen our capacity building through these collaborative efforts and meetings. We need to strengthen our technical and regulatory frameworks through joint training and research initiatives.
Alake says the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding in geology, mining, and mineral processing will serve as a cornerstone for facilitating knowledge and technology transfer, investment promotion, capacity building, regional integration, as well as value addition. He emphasized Nigeria's renewed focus on developing its mining industry, stating that South Africa could benefit from Nigeria's vast mineral wealth, while Nigeria could tap into South Africans' advanced mining expertise,
which is sharing best practices in exploration, in extraction, and beneficiation to enhance efficiency and sustainability. Also is geared towards investment promotion, encouraging cross-border investments in mining projects and downstream industries.
In his remarks, South Africa's Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, Gwande Matashi, affirmed that South Africa, where mining plays a central role in the economy, stands to gain from Nigerians' revitalized interest in the sector. He added that his visit aims to fine-tune agreement from the Binational Commission and to deepen collaboration on mutually beneficial projects with Nigeria's Ministry of Solid Minerals Development.
In South Africa can find each other and work together, I can assure you Africa will be different. I'm making this point because we're in a continent which is the least developed continent in the world. We're very rich in mineral resources and oil and gas.
Both ministers committed to sustained engagement and collaborations to boost intra-African trade and deliver on the actionable steps outlined in the MOU. They expressed confidence that this renewed partnership would significantly enhance the mining sectors of both countries. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
You're watching the live broadcast of News Prime. When News Prime returns, Trump contemplates closure of U.S. embassies in Africa. We'll bring those details shortly, plus business and sports. On the other side of this break, please stay with us. Welcome back to Business News. Nigeria's Vice President Kashim Shettima has urged ministries, departments and agencies of government to prioritize data sharing and dialogue, which are central to streamlining the business environment and enhancing the ease of doing business in Nigeria. Stanley Ngwocha, Senior Special Assistant to the President of the Media and Communications Office of the Vice President, said this in a statement. Ngwocha noted that the Vice President implored the MDS as well as members of the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council to deepen synergy to ensure a more enabling business climate in the country. The Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority says in the last 12 years it has been making consistent positive returns. Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer Amin Omar Sadiq made this known at the NSIA Media Engagement on the authority's 2024 earnings presentation in Abuja. Queen Agaba has more.
Speaking on NSIA's broader investment outlook, the Managing Director and CEO, Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority, Aminu Umar Sadiq, says the authority has adopted a defensive asset allocation strategy across its Stabilization Fund and Future Generations Fund to withstand global economic uncertainty, particularly in light of political challenges in the United States. He reveals that the authority has attracted over $1 billion in third-party capital for infrastructure investment, in addition to committing $500 million of its own funds. He cited the financial guarantor, which grew from over $25 million to over $300 million in attracted capital, and ongoing efforts by Nigerian Mortgage Refinance Company and MedServ to secure significant investments.
Umar here. We took time to perfect the business model, perfect the pricing, optimize the patient experience, optimize the training, and off the back of that, when the business model was perfected, then we commenced the expansion process, going from 1 oncology center to 4, and going from 2 diagnostic centers to 12. And we're in the process of constructing those centers. We have signed the definitive binding agreements for the machinery, for the equipment, and by 4th quarter of this year, we should be live, fully operationalized in phase 1, in phase 2 of our MedServ expansion process.
The Managing Director further reveals that the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority will soon end its intervention in the fertilizer blending sector under the Presidential Fertilizer Initiative. This follows an 8-year effort that has seen the number of functional blending plants grow from just 4 in 2017 to more than 90 across the country. Umar Sadiq noted that the authority has fulfilled its mandate in resuscitating the sector as its continued involvement is no longer necessary.
And so we started that program in 2017. But what was important and what was crucial in terms of that business model was to ensure that the focus, the objective was to resuscitate the sector so that the blending plants are actually independent. It was not to sustain NSIA's continued engagements, continued intervention in the sector. And so essentially what we did, we started off buying all the raw materials, transporting everything to the blending plants, paying the blending plants to pay, to blend, and then selling the fertilizer in from the gate of the blending plants. And then as each of these blending plants then essentially had a historical record for cash flows, then NSIA then pulled back slightly.
He further explained that the liberalization of the sector strengthened by the Central Bank of Nigeria's removal of foreign exchange restrictions on the importation of inputs has attracted active market participants. Take 2. He further explained that the liberalization of the sector strengthened by the Central Bank of Nigeria's removal of foreign exchange restrictions on the importation of inputs has attracted active market participants capable of sustaining operations without NSIA's intervention. For Global Television, Queen Akaba reporting.
And on to the foreign scene, the Trump administration is reportedly considering shutting down nearly 30 embassies and consulates worldwide, including several in Africa, as part of a broader plan to streamline America's diplomatic presence abroad. This is according to an internal document from the U.S. State Department. Among the proposed closures are American embassies in Lesotho, the Republic of Congo, the Central African Republic, and South Sudan. Colombia has declared a national health and economic emergency over a deadly yellow fever outbreak, with the government urging people to get vaccinated and take precautions while traveling over the Easter weekend. The mosquito-borne virus, which typically causes fever, muscle pains, and the disease and headaches, is endemic to multiple countries in South America, including Colombia, where the current outbreak has had a high mortality rate. The Minister of Health, Guillermo Jeremolo, says at least 34 people died among 74 confirmed cases since the start of the year. And now wrapping up with sport news. Nigeria's Quadri Aruna was the last African to exit the 2025 ITTF World Cup in Moscow, China, as the continent's campaign came to a disappointing end following a group stage elimination for all representatives. The second-ranked African player fell in straight sets to Sweden's Anton Kovic. And our Nigeria National Sport Commission has commended Team Nigeria's outstanding performance at the recently concluded International Table Tennis Federation World Para Future Tournament in Amman, Jordan, where the nation displayed its prowess in the para table tennis by finishing among the top 3 teams globally. Now, over the 3-day championship, which took place from April 13 to 15, Nigeria amassed a remarkable haul of 5 gold, 7 silver, and 2 bronze medals, competing against the powerhouses such as Germany, Iran, and the host nation Jordan. Nigeria stood tall as one of the only 3 African nations in attendance alongside Egypt and South Africa. As we wrap up the news round, let's take a look at the top stories. APC received the factors, urges internal unity. Vice President Shettima urges MDS to support ease of doing business in Nigeria. And before we told you, Trump can template closure of U.S. embassies in Africa. Also informed, the National Sport Commission has commended Team Nigeria's outstanding performance at the recently concluded ITTF World Para Future Tournament. And that's a package here on News Prime. A reminder that Global TV is on DSV channel 365 in start times, channel 276. Kindly follow us on also the platform shown on the screen at Global TV. And you can also download the Global TV Nigeria app for Android and your iOS devices to keep track of the broadcast. On behalf of the entire production team, we say thank you for joining us here on News Prime. My name is Adikan Michael. Bye-bye.